Here we are live. Hello, everybody. Let's see. I'm gonna go to comments. Make sure I can read some comments here. I don't know. Can you hear the music, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. Trying to make sure everybody could hear. How's it going, everybody? It's just a random live draw stream. And today I have a guest. I have my brother Mikey, and he doesn't have his camera yet. Yeah, hello. And today's his birthday, so if you're tuning in, say hello, happy birthday to Mikey. And I'm just gonna be doing this is gonna be a short one, maybe an hour. And I asked Mike if he'd just join me. 2 different locations. So I'm just inking pages for modded. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe it's too close.
What the frick was that?
That was the crane arm.
Was that a spring?
Yeah, the bang. I don't know why it's making that noise.
Yeah, it blew my eardrum out.
Hey, Andrew J. He said happy birthday, Mike. I don't know if you see the screen there.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Andrew. You put a birthday cake there for you.
Thank you. Do I have an NFT? No. I should make some.
Yeah. We Mike and I have been talking about it. We're figuring things out, doing some research. But yeah. But Mikey is not against it. He's thinking about what to do, and we've been discussing some ideas.
I'm not against money. Yeah.
Yeah. Even crypto.
I want to know how to cash it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the latest page from Modded. Your grandma has NFT at this point. What?
That's a hip grandma.
Yeah. She's on the ball, man. She knows what's going on. She's in the loop.
Oh, this is nice. What is this?
This is, it says it's called Strange Eons, but it's supposed to be a free streaming music, royalty-free synthwave. So so far I haven't been flagged, so it seems like it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, if you hear any whistling in the background, it's screaming. Some kids outside the window.
Hey, Andy.
Andy. Hey, Andy. It is, guess what? It's Mikey's birthday today. Maybe I should put that in the banner so people could see it instead of saying it every time.
No, they don't owe me anything.
I just thought it'd be
visiting.
Nice. Yeah, he's just visiting.
Hi, Gary Shipman.
Hey, Gary Shipman, how's it going, man? Yeah, Gary, check out Gary's stuff. He's doing a comic called Titan Mouse, and yeah, definitely check his stuff out. And he's doing some NFTs. He's already in on the game. I think he's doing some Titan Mouse. Gary, you're doing Titan Mouse NFTs? Or is it, I think he had Ugly Monkeys or something like that, right? Andrew Hayes. Yeah, check out Gary Shipman's YouTube channel. Subscribe to that, definitely. Get some good content. Some great content. And then here's Andrew Hayes. Mike's been lost to the NFT monster. Well, hey man, he's been getting more building his fan base on the NFT circuit.
He's got to feed the kids.
Yeah, gotta feed those kids. They don't stop eating. They actually eat more when they get older, right? Not you too, Matt. Hey, I'm not counting it out. I'm just doing some research into stuff before I jump in. I don't know, when something sounds good, too good to be true, I'm always looking into stuff.
Well, it's never good to chase the fad. It's like if you can get it done without interfering with your other plans, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like if you're just chasing after the next dream, you'll miss out on the stuff that you know you know
Yeah,
that you
and I'm
makes you different.
yeah, and Mike S. Miller, who's the host of Drawn and Quartered, which is on later today at 7 Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, he's been in the cryptocurrency for years now, so for him it's just like a common logical step into going into NFTs. He's already been doing cryptocurrency and everything, so it was the next logical step for him to get in on the action. And he's been talking to us other artists from our group, trying to help us get in on the action. So, hey Jiminy, if you want, I could send you a link if you'd like to jump in, join Mikey and I. I don't know if you've met Mikey, my brother. Another comic artist. You probably heard him on in the background some of my live streams. Yeah, this is the digital pages I did digital, and then I just transferred them via light table, and I'm doing inks because I wanted some original comic art. I gotta say, it's the first time I really did the digital pencils, and then I liked it. I'm actually kind of honing my skills so I could just go fully digital, but you know,
Andy wants to know if who's been uh, inducted into the NFT craze. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I know. It's from the stories I've been hearing from different artists that I know. It seems like you're getting some, you know, nothing to shake a stick at. Let's see. But yeah, man. I don't know. I'm doing some research on it, and there's a lot of jargon being used that I do not understand. So, like, I just found out a new term called, was it a meta wallet? I think it's something like that. So yeah, I don't know what the. It's strange to me, but so here we got this page, and then I got another page right here that I was lightboxing the other night. And if you don't know what lightboxing is, I think most of you probably do. It's an old school term, right? And it's an old school technique that I'm still using. Here we go. See? Now you see a blank page, and now you see the panels. Look at that. And if you pull it off, and I turn this light off for a second, look at that. Blank again. But yeah, I'm working on that right now, so I'll just do some of this light box so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Oh. So Mike's working on some art too, and they're working on getting him a camera so you can see some of his awesome art. But I'll have to put his link in the description. Mike has an Instagram you should check out too. Oh, thanks, Andy. Yeah, I got those kids raising the gun up. He's getting ready to fire. He's having fun because he sees the champions getting in on the action. So he's, kids that see adults, even an alien adult wanting to play, and they get excited like, all right. But this alien champion takes it serious. He's like hiding behind the ambassador right there.
Yeah, that looks pretty sweet.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out most of the problems, like problem solving in the digital pencil, so I don't have to, go in and figure it out with the inks, which takes me a little bit longer. Let's see, where's the straight edge? And here it is. Okay. I'm gonna do like a little strobe light effect. What does Jimmy Cricket say here?
He said, if I don't wear a turtle shell and an orange domino mask, I'm going to be real disappointed.
Here we go. I hear is Jason right here, Jiminy. I got you added. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Here, let me see.
Hold on.
How come there you are?
There I am. Hey, everybody. It's Jiminy.
Welcome to the stream. Hey, Gary. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I can send you a link too, Gary, if you'd like to join in. I don't know if you're probably just stopping by, but...
Now, Matt, does this kid get killed?
Because
I'm getting a bad feeling about what's about to happen.
No. I think what's going to happen, because I'm not so far in this first issue, they don't tackle it, but I think he's going to be in later issue. But I think it's almost like a Thanos thing, maybe. I don't know, like where he kind of takes his kid on. I don't know, but he abducts him basically. He gets abducted by aliens,
Right, but if an opponent loses the whatever competition they're doing, they die, right?
Yep, that's one of the things that the champion was asking, like in this panel right here. In this panel, the champion's asking the ambassador where the electricity is. The kid. And then he's like, "No, there's nothing here since it's not, an official challenge."
Oh,
okay. Then he asked the kid, "Well, is the game over then?" And the kid goes, "Well, he's got to count to 5." So the champion counts to 5, his eyes closed. Then he comes back with a vengeance, rips open a gun, and that's when he starts playing with the kid, the fight. Yeah, but no, I don't think any kids are harmed in this comic.
Okay.
That would be too dark.
Okay.
But let's see.
So, Mikey, are you working on this book?
On this one, no.
No. Okay.
I'm working on something else right now.
Cool. What are you working on?
Writing a story for one of my friends to draw, and I'm really behind on another project I took on for somebody else. So I'm doing a bunch of layouts on the computer. Matt kind of inspired me doing the digital layouts, so I'm doing that.
Cool. Good.
But I'm just gonna print them out this weekend so I can ink them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool. So are you primarily an artist or writer, both? Are you like the John Byrne of the family?
I think I'm both.
Okay, cool.
I just
great.
I completely draw different style than him.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, I'm sure you draw better than Matt. So.
I like my stuff better.
I'm sure everyone else will too.
It's awesome. If you've seen his art, you'd be like, "Whoa, show the full screen on that." But so we'll get a camera for him, so he'll be showing it.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, you don't have your own YouTube channel,
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay, get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, no, because we've been bugging Matt to do more live streams, more videos for a long time. He finally started doing it, so we're very happy.
Yeah,
You get to
yeah,
actually
finally.
see him draw more.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
thanks for your coaxing I got on the Drawstream, the StreamYard. Now I'm using that. I actually like StreamYard. Hey, Mike, Blacklist Universe just popped in to say
Hey,
yo,
hey,
Hello.
the mic's here.
and that's who we were just talking about. The NFT King. He just did I think he just did a live stream a few hours ago. I just saw it
Yeah, he
pop up
did.
on my YouTube.
Yeah,
But
caught the
yeah,
tail end of it.
also he's hosting Drawing a Quarter tonight.
What are you guys drawing tonight?
I'm not sure exactly. I think it's going to be something with aliens. Not like
Okay.
Aliens the movie, but I think maybe in general. I'm
Okay,
not sure. We haven't
that's good.
cemented it yet.
A nice
But
general
yeah, you can
theme.
check that
That's
out.
good.
I believe his, Mike's link is in the description. Blacklist Universe, you could check it out, subscribe, so then you could see the videos.
Yes.
Not only Drawn a Quarter, but you can see his NFT art, Monkey Frat House.
Yeah.
Also, you got Andrew says, "Hey, Mike, can't
keep-
try to lure Matt in."
I keep meaning to go back and watch Mike's NFT videos, but I see that they're like 3 hours each, and I'm like, maybe not now. It's like Mike needs to do like little short, like 5-minute videos about NFTs, explaining them.
Yeah, there's so much to explain. Once I think I'm starting to get some jargon down, there's more jargon that pops in.
Too much.
I'm like, what?
Too much stuff, and the learning curve for me is like pretty high for like new technology and stuff. That's why I still use the same programs I've been using for the last decade when I draw, because it's just too much of a headache to learn whole new programs. But it seems interesting.
You hear it, sit right here. He says, "Blacklist Universe, my NFT videos are just 1 hour each, Jiminy."
You have like 50 of them now. That's a problem.
He's got look at how many views the last one. Last time I looked, it was 161. It was only a couple hours in. You got a lot of people jumping in.
Yep.
Building that community up. Let's see. Oh, phone call.
It's Joe Biden.
He doesn't know. He's like, stop posting on my Facebook page.
It's like, Jill, where's my ice cream?
2 scoops.
2 scoops. Rum raisin.
Hear what he says. Hey, it's Nighthawk Warrior. Welcome. Thanks to see you. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Also, Blacklist Universe. His Discord's over 1,300 people now. Whoa. I think the last time I heard it was like 600.
Dang.
NFT fans, collectors should go and take over the world. What is it Andrew Hayes say?
Don't worry, the government will shut it down as soon as it's profitable.
You're making too much money.
Exactly.
Well, they already started doing something recently,
With
well, they're talking about having an agency just to monitor people that use digital currency.
Of course they will.
So
they always want to watch.
Yeah.
Always watching us. Mm-hmm. What is it? That one I heard something about $600, something like that.
Right. They're checking everyone's bank account. They want the IRS to start looking at people's bank accounts to see transactions over $600 so they can tax them on it.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I thought it was supposed to be taxing the rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taxing the rich. Nah.
If you're able to save $600, you're rich.
Yeah, you're rich.
Rich enough to take your money.
Good news, you're rich. Bad news,
exactly.
They're monitoring your money.
Good news, Dubai has made everybody rich overnight. Now pay your fair share.
That's a way of doing it. Hey, Gary Shipman art says, "Hey, Mike." Mike says, "There's a ton of short videos out there for people to watch if you just want explanations." All right, yeah, I'll wind up watching some of those too. Oh, Gary, I sent you a link, Gary. I sent Mike a link too if you guys want to stop in just to say hello. It's going to be just a short stream today because we're doing drawing and quartered, but I figured since I'm doing pages, ink,
Right.
I might as well just start a stream. Because I keep saying I'm going to do a random stream, I never do it. It's good to see everybody here. Gary also comes on drawing and quartered.
Now, Matt, you're lightboxing this art. Is this art? Are these printouts from the computer or are these pencils?
Oh yeah, these are computer printouts. So
okay, gotcha.
And I would do just straight up, totally digital, but I'm still kind of figuring out things how to make it look up to par with my usual stuff.
Right.
But I'm start once I get where I feel like comfortable enough, I'll probably just go straight digital on some of these projects because of time.
Yeah.
But for now, this is traditional. But it's actually helped me speed up still. So.
Cool. Yeah, I think doing layouts digitally is faster, just because it's easier to make corrections and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you could just, if you like the drawing, like I said, you just resize it. We were talking about before. Resize it, shrink it, move it around the panel.
Yeah. It's much more fluid and.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Man. Yeah, it just streamlines things. It seems like for me. I mean, I just started doing it, so I'm still seeing the results, though, of the speed aspect. See now, Hoyer, Matt, is this for your comic modded? Yes, it's for modded. I know we haven't seen much of the alien creatures yet, so now that we're starting to delve into these characters, we'll see more as the story. See more action too as the story gets closer to. We're actually getting close to the action now in pages, so it's going to be fun drawing that. I think that's also something that can help me digital wise, like doing the digital stuff, because there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff in there and a lot of backgrounds I'm going to have to figure out, and this will probably help me out because I don't want to focus too much time and attention on just drawing part of it, which is important obviously, but I want to get the storytelling focus on that, and I think it's a good way to help me just get this done quicker because also people want it in their hands, right?
Now,
when you get done,
I'm sure I've asked you this before, I just forgotten. Is this going to be a one shot or is this going to be multiple issues?
This is going to be a one shot, but then there's going to be follow-up books after that we're already planning on.
Okay.
So this will be like a 48-page book, but it'll have a beginning, end, and then there's a continuation, like an opening for continuation.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so yeah, that'll be interesting. I've been sitting in on some of the brainstorming for that. Sounds like there's some cool ideas they want to take these characters in different directions, but it's going to be fun. I want it to be really out there because mangas. That's what I like about manga and anime is you take the weirdest concepts and just make it work. If it's kind of like the suspension of disbelief is. It's you have a little more leeway on that. I think if that's the style of manga and anime.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get away with a lot more weird stuff, and the fans of it already kind of expect it to be weird, right?
Yeah.
So the little kid, he gets a shot off, hits him with the dart, boom. Of course, the champion uses the ambassador as a shield. Just a tactic. Oh wait, here we go. Sorry about that. Gary's been waiting. Gary, welcome to the stream.
How you doing?
Fine.
Good, man. Thanks for stopping by.
What was that?
That was Jiminy. That was Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Hey, Gary. Good seeing you. Not seeing you. Good hearing you.
Good hearing.
It's good hearing you and seeing your avatar.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
So Matt, is this how you ink everything, or do you do like a?
No, usually I just go like straight from pencils to and ink on top of the pencils.
I mean,
But-
do you use that same pen to do everything?
Almost. I mean, I started to use these thanks to Matt Weldon, but I also use I'll use this Pentel brush pen.
Oh yeah.
I use that, and then sometimes I'll use the Sakura, the Micron. I'll use that once in a while for some things, because like speed line stuff, it's a little more of a natural flow. Sometimes what I like about the ballpoint is it breaks up, because I want rough line art, and my tendency is to go tight. So this kind of forces me to go rough with still trying to maintain a tightness to it. So it kind of works for me.
Cool.
But yeah, I was using ballpoint. I used it before. I never used it in comic pages, but I used it in sketching. And then I saw Matt Weldon, he was doing it, and I'm like, "You're actually using it on your pages?" And I go, "You know what? I'm gonna try that out." So
Matt Weldon's insane though. So
yeah,
I mean, it's like seeing a guy doing parkour off the Empire State Building, and then thinking maybe I should try that too. It's like you may not want to do that. That guy might be crazy.
Yeah, that it's funny because he'll take this is a 3/8. I use a 0.38, so it's like a finer tip, and he'll use like a 1, and I'm like, I try to use a 1, and that thing, man, it'll if you take too long at doing a line, it'll actually just start not bleeding, but it'll clump, it'll come out and, just flow right out of the tip without barely any effort. But I don't like it. Doesn't dry as fast either. So if you put your hand on top of it,
the
ink will
smudge.
Oh man, yeah.
The gummy, Ugh.
I've done that too many times, so I don't use that anymore. I use the thin ones because they dry pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I've realized a while back that Matthew's ability to use those pens and do certain things is mainly down to his just being 5 zillion times more skilled than I am. So I'm not even. It has nothing to do with the instrument. He could be drawing probably with a feather, and it'd look awesome. I just need to. I need to work on just being able to draw well with a pen and pencil.
That's how it is with artists. Is whenever you're, that younger artist, and I'm the same way. But I'm like, what are you using?
Yeah.
And it is funny. Is it does. It's when it comes down to it, it's was it Frazetta? He said people asked him, "What are you using the watercolor?" And he was like, "Oh, just some Mickey Mouse watercolor set." And they go, "Fine, don't tell me," And then he pulled it from under the table, and it was actually a Mickey Mouse play set, watercolor set. And I'm like, "Whoa,
oh, that's funny."
It's just down to skill, Yeah. So.
Of course, if you use if you use certain tools that work best for you, it can help you out, to your advantage. I mean, you can achieve certain effects that you couldn't do otherwise, right? Using the brush. I'll use actually for some techniques. I use those what is it, the bristle brushes, the flat ones, squared up ones, and they get some really cool dry brush look. And then I'll use some of these these Chinese, or not Chinese, but Japanese calligraphy brushes.
Yeah,
I love dry brush look.
Yeah, me too. I've been using those Pentel brushes, the ones where you can squeeze more ink into it, the sort of fat ones that I think I saw you using it, and also Elliot Fernandez uses them. And at first, it was hard for me to figure out how to how to make them work because I'm not used to inking with a brush. But the more I use it, the better I got at it. So now I love it. It's a great.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to and to handle it, and then once you start using it though, man. I mean, hey Gary, do you use a brush?
Yeah, I use a brush. I use the microns or Copic pens. I actually use. There's a set of pens that are just like the microns, but it's by a company called the Paper Studio. and they may be exclusive to like Hobby Lobby, but the pens are like they're just as good as Copic, and I
that's
really
cool.
like them.
Yeah.
And
So they cost an arm and a leg.
no, they're really cheap.
Yeah, that's great.
And I also use brush. I use nibs, or
Mm,
quills, or whatever.
yeah.
I used to have a hard time with the quills because they would always like hang up on the paper.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
But
Yeah.
now I love that.
Oh yeah, you like
I'm
that?
like, the
I
more
love
the
the way it
merrier.
takes it to the paper.
I love it when it splatters and stuff. I love that.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Especially with Titan mouse, right? Because you get that noir type feel.
Oh
to it.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I tried to. I like the techniques I see other artists using. Like, was it that Bill Sinkovich? Is that his name? How you pronounce it?
Bill Sienkiewicz?
Yeah, and he uses that splatter, like sketchy look, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I really like that look, and it's like, it's not easy. I mean, it looks easy. You're like, oh, he's just scratchy, but no, man, you gotta know what you're doing. You know, it's just not. Some people think, oh, like Alex Toth, he just blacks out makes a lot of silhouettes. And I'm like, yeah, he does a whole drawing, and
Right.
decides it looks better, silhouetted or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to definitely. I actually did use Gary. I used this to ink the line work on the other pages. My little, I think it's a G. Yeah, it's a G nib, Japanese. But I use this one too because I'm like, you know what? I can just go in quick, and I use it for all the line work on this page.
Yeah.
And man, it's just fun, man. I love using it too. The sound of it's cool too, scratching across the paper.
Huh.
You don't get that with the tablets.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know when they're kind of done. You know, like you use pens so much and then they kind of lose something. And
The dull. Like,
yeah, I keep working with them, and it's like, why is this so hard? And then I'll get a new pen or a new nib or a new brush or something. It's like, oh, the brush isn't supposed to split into 2 or 3. And it works so much better.
Yeah, that's one thing I realized too, is like I didn't know, like when I first got a nib, I was so happy that I got Japanese nib. I'm like, all right, I'm doing just like Japanese. And then I'm like, after a while, I didn't realize you had to replace them. Like I didn't know they wore out. It was like you said, it was getting like rough. I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, I didn't know.
So how long do they tend to last for you?
It depends. I mean, if I use it probably just like every book. It depends on how rough you are too. I'm
Hey
kind of
guys,
light-handed.
I'm gonna have to bounce out of here, but thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for showing
Yeah,
up,
thanks for
Gary.
stopping by, man. Yeah,
great talking
maybe we'll
to you.
see you drawing quartered, maybe, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see. All right.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Fingers crossed. We'll
Later.
wait for you, Gary. If you don't show up, we'll find you.
Yeah. So Mike, I know my brother Mike, you like to use what are those, the plastic nibs from Micron?
I don't like those, but they're the only plastic nibs that I can find that kind of mimic that Japanese dollar store one that they don't get anymore.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
You
that
know,
one was nice.
I had the Japanese dollar store nib. I tried to order 100 of them, and the lady told me, "Yeah, we got them in." And I went out there, and she put them all out on the shelf, and they're sold out within a half hour.
Oh man.
And I was like, and she goes, "Why would you even want 100?" And I go, "Does it matter? I was willing to pay for it."
Know your business.
There's like,
our friend will come out.
and then
buy
right then,
'em up.
that was the last time they ordered pens. They were like, "We're not going to order pens anymore. We just sold the store to a new management." And
Oh my
so I was
god.
like,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, oh man.
and I kept walking around with the plastic sleeve for the pen that it came in, and I go, what kind of pen is this? I was asking different Japanese people around the area. I go, "Can you order these? Do you know what this is called online?" They thought I was crazy. They're like, no. I'm like, "This is not a scam. I just want this pen."
Yeah, you go around like some junkie looking for a hit. It's like, hey man, you know where I can score some nibs? It's like, no, I don't use drugs. He's like, no, real nibs, real nibs.
The thing was so good that I could do super quick, fine details, and then I could all of a sudden in one stroke at the same time make it look like a brushwork on parts of it I wanted. I was like, so I was like, I've never found that quality ever again. Even other Japanese plastic nibs are always kind of crappy. People are like, oh, try this. I'm like, I've done it. It sucks. And
Do you
I'm like,
remember the brand name?
No. Oh, it was what was it? It was a Daiso. It was a generic Daiso pen. But even on their website, I don't think they manufacture it anymore, because I went to a Daiso and they never. I scrolled through all the listings of their stuff and they never had a picture of it.
How do you spell Daiso?
Was it Daiso?
Yep.
Okay.
Daiso. Yeah, they have a bunch out here in Cali. And oh, by the way, I don't know if Mike Miller's still here, Blacklist Universe, but I sent you a link to it in the Twitter. So if you're not busy, which you usually are.
Is Mike still on Twitter?
I think so.
Okay.
He should be. I don't know how often he checks it. If he is.
Yeah,
no, he is. He's got but he's a different account, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if it's incognito. I don't want to give it away. So.
That's fine. You don't have to. You know, I know government's looking for him too. Don't worry.
Yeah. He's got more than the allotted amount of NFTs. Now the IRS can be like,
you got more government people looking for you than they have looking for that Brian what's his face guy who killed his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I heard about was it the dog the bounty hunter found him or almost found him, something like that?
Well, he was looking for him. I think.
Yeah.
Last I heard, he found a can of Monster drink. He thought that was a clue.
Oh, okay.
He goes, this guy's a monster. He had to be.
He would drink this.
He would drink this, yeah.
Oh man.
No, but yeah, no, seriously, man. Dude, I guess he was he tracked him to at least a location, an area, the area he might be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's legit, almost finding out where this guy's gonna be.
Yeah, it'd be funny if they found him in a comic book store somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been here for weeks. What are you talking about?
Dude, man, I used to work at a comic store. There's some of the stuff that they would order. I'm like, that should even. I kept telling my boss, don't order this crap. You're going to be on the FBI watch list for this stuff. I'm like, we had subscribers ordering Japanese, those phone books, where they have short stories and stuff. And they're ordering ones with child porn looking stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like, what the freak? And he's like, I didn't know what it was. And it go, if it says something like bubble,
it's from Japan.
Yeah, it was like bubble baby something, and I was like, if it says anything like baby bubbles, don't order it.
Yeah,
man, to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I found that out when I've been reading anime or reading manga and watching anime since the '80s, and I got the Bean Bandit anime. Have you guys ever seen that?
Yeah.
Do you know who Bean Bandit is?
Yeah, he's on the Gunsmith Cats.
Gunsmith Cats. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, Bean Bandit. I started watching it, and I start Bean Bandit, and then sort of a preliminary version of Rally or Larry from. She had blonde hair in this one before they finalized her look. So, but they're tracking basically what was her name? Minnie May.
Yeah.
Her sidekick. They're tracking an early version of her with a bad guy, but the bad guy is a woman, and Minnie May is 12 years old and her girlfriend. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I didn't realize it until I started watching it, and it was halfway through the movie. I was like, "Ooh, this is not good." And I was watching this back in the early '90s. I was like, "Ooh."
Man, you see, it's funny. It's I didn't even know about this kind of stuff, and then that's why some people are like, "Oh, you gotta be careful, anime." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's just cartoons," I'm like, I didn't know about stuff. I mean, I was picking up manga at some convention, and people warning me, "Oh, you know what that is?" And I'm like, "It looks cool art, you don't want to look at that." And I'm like, "What?" And they tell me what it is. I'm like, "Whoa,
yeah,
I didn't even know." So now,
sometimes I think we drop one too many A-bombs on them. back in the 40s.
Yeah.
We kind of messed up.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I had a friend. I still have a friend from Japan, and he would do this thing where he'd go to a comic store, and he
Yeah.
would go with his girlfriend. Then girlfriend, now is his wife. But
Mm-hmm.
they would look for. They had a contest for who could find the most messed up manga. Because they'd just be browsing. You know, you pick up the one, you're like, oh, okay, put it back. And he goes, I think I
I
just
win.
found one. And then she goes, no, this one. He's like, oh man.
Oh,
So
shit.
even in Japan, they know it's like that's messed up stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to visit though.
Oh yeah. I definitely once things travel gets less crazy, we're planning on it.
Yeah.
I want to get out there.
Now, did you guys used to live there?
Oh no.
Okay.
But no, I got like I said, I got a friends, no artist friends there. Like
Mhm.
I think I told you, did I tell you that I'm friends with the guy who created Aggressico? He animates and directs it on Netflix.
I'm not
He does
familiar
the
with it.
voices of it too.
Yeah, he does the singing voice.
It's the heavy metal office working panda girl. Like she's a red
Okay.
panda.
It's
Okay.
made by
And when she gets mad, she pulls out like a karaoke mic and starts like screaming death metal, like ah. But he animates it, directs it, designs everything, does the voices. His wife does the voice of the main character.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Hello Kitty company. They're the ones who put out the
Sanrio.
Yeah, Sanrio.
Hmm.
So he's been doing that, and I met him online. He was like doing his own funny characters and little animations, and
Yeah.
it was like a community that we were part of that I found like online, a Japanese blog, because I was looking through artists, and I
Yeah.
happened across one where it was a BBS, like a bulletin board system where you could post up art, and you could actually draw on the actual like website. They had like a little miniature Photoshop set up.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
actually draw, and we ended up playing like word games and everything, and it was like all Japanese, and there was like someone from Italy, someone from
Wow.
Germany, and
That's
we
neat.
would all draw, and I was the only guy from the U.S. And then all those artists that I was talking with, like he became a director and animator, and then the other guy, he was working on Pokemon cards,
Wow.
and he started doing painted cards for Pokemon, and then also Final Fantasy. He worked on that,
That's really
doing
cool.
some texture stuff, but he's right now. That guy's still crazy good. He was only, when I met one of the guys I met, he was only like 19, and he was like, he was just kicking butt. Everybody was just like, this guy's, yeah. And I still follow him on, well, I was on Instagram, and I follow him on Twitter now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing really cool stuff. He's almost like a Japanese hipster because he does like retro wave type music, CD cover art and stuff, and
Yeah.
But his dad, he comes from a family of artists. His dad's like an artist and
Okay.
crazy
That's
good.
cool.
His dad's one of those. It was funny in a way. I kind of styled one of the characters from his book off of his dad. Like his dad is like older, right? But he's got the cool mod, like long hair and like goatee, you know. And he's all he's kind of svelte, kind of like all ripped and in shape and everything, and wears kind of hip clothes. And I'm like, so I kind of like, cause like, you know, when I thought of that character, I'm thinking some cool guy who's like older dad, and I'm like, picture that.
Cool. He lives in Japan.
Yeah, he's in Japan. Yeah, he's in Tokyo.
Yeah, that's neat.
But he does a comic online too, and he does all digital, mostly. Digital. And but yeah, he's crazy good still. He's every time you see him, he's always just evolving as an artist, getting better and better. But
yeah,
I'm banned from Twitter.
Yeah, you too.
I barely had mine on, and like I made the mistake of like commenting on a video like during the election time, and they were like sent me a notice that my comment was, according to them, was racially spreaded racial hatred. But it's funny is my comment had nothing to do with race. In the video, it wasn't, as far as I was concerned, wasn't about race. But I guess they think that in their mind, only minorities can be wusses and whores. That's what my comment actually said. my comment said the wuss sucker punched him in the back of the head, and the horse stole his cell phone. And then they said that was a racially hatred, spreading racial hatred against minorities. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like,
I didn't see anything about it.
And a girl, like some guy ran up and punched some guy in the back of the head, an old guy. And this girl ran, when the old guy fell, he dropped his cell phone. She ran, and her boobs flopping out, and she like grabbing her boobs and tucking her boobs in and stole his phone. I got it found, let it be bad. And I'm like, she's freaking whore, freaking wear a bra, hold those things in, and and don't steal, don't sucker punch people. That's all I was commenting on. And I'm like, how's that racial?
Yeah. Jeff Potts, welcome to the stream. How's it going, Jeff Potts? He says, yo.
Potts.
Yeah, we're just, if you come in on the late conversation, just talk about how we got banned from Twitter, or how you can get banned. Yeah, don't call people names that are.
Well, then they told me I could come back in if I put my phone number in, but I would still delete the comment. So I put my phone number in, and then it said you're not allowed to access your account until you delete the comment. I'm like, that's funny. I can't delete the comment until you let me access the account. So I wrote them a thing and no response, and so I'm permanently locked out. But this is what I realized: they use that to log my IP and to like track my phone too. Because when I created a new account, tried to go in there, it's like I can't even view Twitter at all now.
Yeah.
I can't log into Twitter, and I can't view it under a new account unless I use my computer. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Twitter's for on the go.
No, they wanted me to. I just actually sent Twitter from my old Twitter account. My new one is the Cawson Mask, but the old one was just Matt Cawson. So I sent him an appeal because I said I can't get into my account, and they said I want to use my email and password to get in, but I said I don't have a number to put in there, so I want to get back in. So we'll see what they say. I mean, what do they do for people who don't have phones? I mean, you're not allowed to use Twitter anymore because you can't use Twitter because you have no phone.
I don't think they have my phone number. I don't think I gave it to them.
Really? Yeah, but they ask for it when they think that they don't like what you're.
When they lock you out.
They lock you out and say you got to re-enter with your phone number. I go, well, I never entered one to begin with, so why would I need it now, right?
Yeah,
that's what happened. Verify who I am. Send me an email. I'll verify it. But they do that as little ploys and tricks to censor people they don't like. And we seen it. We did that with the actual news company. Was it New York Times or not New York Times? New York. Was it New York? It was like a newspaper. They actually blocked them out of their own account, and they said they would open their account once they deleted.
Oh yeah, New York Post.
Yeah, the Post.
Yeah.
And they said we can't delete our post if we're locked out.
Right.
So it's kind of nonsense like that, but it's like.
I wish I knew about that news story before I logged in.
Yeah. See, once in a while I have to turn this off so I can actually see what my lines are looking like here. And then if you can notice, there's some changes I'm going to be making even on this because I didn't realize until after I'm making it. I'm like, okay, I got to change something. But look you can see the speed lines going right here for Champion.
Cool.
I'm going to add in. I could do it by hand. I might do it by hand. I might do it just digitally for time. Add in those speed lines I did back here.
Now, the ones you did in the background, were those done digitally?
Yeah, those are all digital.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was doing it by hand, but I'm like, you know what? I think I could do the exact same thing if I could do it digitally and save time.
Right.
To draw more pages. I'm like, it makes more sense to do it digitally.
Oh yeah.
So save some time, man. Like, yeah. Let's see here.
I mean, real artists do them by hand without a ruler.
Yeah.
Use a computer if you want.
That's how it used to be. I used to be like, I'm not gonna use that. But now I'm like my uncle. He showed me. He's a commercial artist, and he said,
"Really? Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah, he was telling me tricks and tips when we were kids. Mike and I, we always show him art, and he'd give us tips. Yeah. But he said he got commissioned to do this giant pen and ink of a building for like a lobby of this office, and he said what he did is he went and took a photograph of the entire building, in
Yeah.
black and white, and then he Xeroxed the image. This is before all he used computers.
Right.
Xeroxed the image multiple times. Xerox the copy of the copy, and then it broke it up. And then he took an ink pen and worked on top of it,
Cool.
and it looks just like a hand-on pen and ink drawing.
Right.
And he really did go in. Yeah, and be an artist, you have to be an artist to figure out how to make it look good, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But he said, why? Because I could just draw this all from scratch. But why would I do it? Just to prove something to myself? Because he said the end product is what they're looking for. And it's still hand done, even though he had the structure and everything laid out from the photo. But I'm like, that just, to me, I was like, wow, man, that's smart.
Yeah.
It's like, why draw it out when you have it right there? And on the flip side, I've seen people.
Done, so.
Yeah, exactly. On the flip side, remember I showed you those models I did last time in the Clip Studio?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I've seen a guy do a whole comic with using those models, and the hands like were holding, they'd be holding a cell phone like this, like always like this. It was always just like this. The hands are always like that. They're holding guns like this,
Yeah.
It's just like the guns in their hand, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's funny is he did really cool looking action, but it's all models. You can tell it was,
well, that's the problem. I mean, your uncle did it right, where you couldn't tell what he had done, whereas this other artist isn't skilled enough to make it look like it was hand drawn.
Yeah.
So it's fine to use certain tools to to shortcut your way to get the work finished, but it can't be obvious that you've taken these shortcuts. Otherwise, you've ruined the entire point of doing the shortcuts in the first place. If it looks it looks fake, it looks like like you cheated. That you're hurting yourself. It's like what's his name? Greg Land. You know that?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
because of he uses like model references for like everything, right?
Yeah, except it's obvious that he uses model references.
Yeah,
he traces them.
Stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're using the reference for, like, for instance, I did drawing of a Street Fighter character. I used a reference for the leg or the foot, right? But to get the whole pose, I didn't do it only because I already had the pose in my head, and sometimes even the pose reference will actually look more stiff and boring than the actual drawing, right? It'll be accurate, but just something about it just wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was that? What was it? Tom Cruise. He was doing an action scene. Remember that scene where he's hanging from the side of that jet?
Oh yeah, the plane. Yeah.
It's funny because he did that. He really did that. It wasn't like a blue screen or anything, right?
Right. Yes.
But he said when people saw it, they thought it was just blue screen.
And
he's like, "No, I did." And they go, "Yeah, sure." And it's like, so he really did it, but he could have done the same effect with blue screen. He's like, why risk your life if no one's going to even believe it's real anyway, right?
Yeah. He said his producing buddy was like, "You're getting to be stupid." He goes, basically nobody believes an old man's hanging on the side of the plane.
And he's really doing it. It's just like, no one's gonna believe that. Oh, he didn't do that. It's like he did.
But he's Tom Cruise. It's like he has to do it. So.
Yeah. It's like, what did he like broke his foot on that one scene where he jumped the building?
Yes, between buildings in the last movie. Yeah, that was great.
I saw the video of that. That was brutal. Yeah.
It's like the American Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
man. And then he did the rest of the movie like in a cast, right? The rest of his scenes. Yeah, Jackie Chan had that. He had that fake tennis shoes to slip over his cast.
Yeah, and Rumble in the Bronx. That was awesome.
Rumble in the Bronx. Yeah. Oh my god.
Jumped out of that hovercraft.
Yeah.
It's like snap.
Oh man.
Keep filming.
It's funny, all the stunts he's doing, just a simple like landing with his foot. Not like jumping from a building, but just jumping from like, he looked like he only jumped like, or was it really high? I can't remember.
It was probably like 7 feet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I'm saying.
That's not that high.
Like, he falls like 60 feet.
He probably had
That's enough to break your neck by jumping 6 feet.
That's true.
He probably had fissures in his bones from all the impact that he was doing from a height, bigger height, and then it just caught up finally.
Yeah, like in the same movie. Because
I gotta say though, my bones are pretty invincible. I've jumped from one tree to another when I was a kid, and it was like a 3-story tree. It was taller than our 2-story house. Wow. And some kid paid me $50. He goes, "I bet you could probably jump from one tree to the other because the wind was blowing." And I was like, "You probably could because the treetops were touching." And so I was like, He's like, I'll give you my $50 for my birthday. He said, if you can do it. And I was 8 years old. So I was like, all right. Climbed up there, jumped, but I didn't think about it. You're swaying so far back because the top of the tree is really small.
Yeah.
So as soon as I went, I was like, this is a bad idea. And I jumped anyways. Yeah. And I got it. And I just bowed all the way over, hit every branch, spinning, flipping all the way down. But I put my forearms in front of me. And it was just, I was spinning like a top all the way down. And my entire forearms were solid black from bruising.
Wow.
And my chest and back were black. And I was just laying there on the ground like, Matt's like, oh, mom. And then I didn't have any broken bones, but I was like probably internal bleeding. And my mom, the kid came back later and he like left $50 on my chest because my bedroom window was open.
You looked down your corpse.
And I basically couldn't move. I was just laying there in bed going, and he's like, hey, man, I'm a man of my word. 8 years old, talked like that. You know, he gives me $50. And I was like, I'll spend it when I recover in a month.
He's in a body cast for the next 6 months.
Yeah. No broken bones though, man. That's the thing. I've been brutal as a kid. Yeah, like I got over 258 stitches. You know, but all different times.
Yeah, but that was back when your bones were still like half liquid. You know, it solidified yet. You were still young. It wasn't. Yeah. They didn't become actual bone until you hit puberty. So.
Yeah, it is true. It is true because my dad shut double van doors when I was trying to go up behind him and he didn't know, and I was like also like a year before when I was 7. And he locked the doors shut with my hand sticking out.
Ouch!
Both hands, and cut out the wrist, and it didn't cut my hands off or nothing. Wow! And I was like, "How the freak is that possible?"
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
he had to run around to the inside to unlock the doors with my hands hanging out. I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah. Dang. That's scary.
Yeah, when you're a kid, man, it's like God makes you so you're so flexible and almost you're invincible because you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I fell on so many stairs when I was a kid. I mean, I remember falling down like the basement stairs, and they weren't like like normal. I guess in the 70s they were normal, but they were like they're like just like really steep like wooden stairs.
Yeah,
you know? And I like went tumbling down them when I was like probably 6 years old, and hit the concrete floor, basement floor underneath. And I probably should have been like, I don't know, in a hospital afterwards, but I was fine. It's just like, like my bones were like mostly rubber. When I was small, so it's like I fall down steps and I like crack my head against a concrete block, and then it's just like I just get up. It's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when you see kids. I'll see kids today even like take a fall, and I'm like, "Oh man!" And they're like, get up and they're like, laugh, and I'm like, "What the? How did you do that?" It's just like, and then you forget. Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to do crazy stuff too. Adults had the same reaction, like, "Whoa!" You went down on that bike right in front of me. You just get up and rub your knee, like, "Ow, ow, ow!" And you get up and ride the bike again. You start riding away, Like, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. And you're kind of like limping, but you're like, oh my gosh, he is. He's walking away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the parents baby him more now. Like.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because like you'll see a kid barely fall from just like a standing position, and they're so low to the ground, man. Come on. And the kid's like, and the mom. But mainly at first they stop. And then all of a sudden the mom goes, oh my gosh, and then the kids go, and won't stop. And I'm like, freaking shut up, man. It's like when I would fall down, I split my lip open, and my dad's like, we're not going home. I told you not to run. And my mom's like, he's gonna look like a cat. That's why I draw myself as Mikey the cat. And he's like, pinch it together. And my mom's like a nurse, so she got ice and hold my lip together so it's scabbed. And it was split right in the middle. And my dad's like, I told him not to run. we're not going anywhere.
We spent 2 hours driving here. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was the attitude, you know. And as a kid, I knew don't keep crying because he'll just be annoyed. So he'd be like, "Hey, really? You're gonna keep crying?" I'm like, "No." It's like,
you want a real fat lip? No, Dad. Shut up.
What that saying that they always go, "I'll give you something to cry about."
Yeah, that's my mom used to say it to me all the time.
yeah.
Cry? I'll give you something to cry about. It's like, oh,
yeah, I'll stop.
Stop crying.
Yeah. Well, my mom said that before. I said, "You're the real giving tree. you never stop giving." So I was like, yeah, because man, she would chase me with a hairbrush, man, try to spank me. You know, she had that giant wooden hairbrush. My dad had a paddle because Matt would always be like, "Do it, Dad, spank him. He deserves it."
Oh, man.
But my dad drilled holes in it to make it more aerodynamic. You know?
Oh, cool. That was smart.
Well, you should have been. If you would have seen what I saw, you'd been like, "All right, you got to bust the paddle out now." he was pushing the envelope, but he got away with a lot though because he's so cute, a kid. They're like,
yeah, well, God made kids cute to survive, you know.
Yeah, I'd be like, "You got to give it to him," and they'd be like, "Matt, get out of the room, leave the room," and I leave, and then I come back and Mike's smiling. Like,
but my dad would never spank us if he was angry. He'd wait till he calmed down, and you knew you were in trouble if he sent to your room and he didn't call you within 10 minutes. You're like, holy crap, how mad is he? You know, he's so mad he's not even calling me in. He put me in the room, and I think it was like around breakfast time because I beat the crap out of my cousin who was antagonizing me. So I was like, dude, my cousin was a year younger than me, and if he was watching this, he'd admit it. He deserved it. You know? But I busted his lip up and his nose, and he was bleeding all over. And I was just going to town, like, you know, Drago on top of him. If he dies, he dies.
But you think that would stop him, but he would still do antagonize.
Oh yeah, he was laughing, you know. And so basically, my dad got me. He goes, "What do you think he's doing?" He goes, "Go up in your room." And he was so mad, he went in his room, and then you know he's really mad. He started praying like, "God, give me, you know, patience." He's praying out loud. He had me in the room all the way from 10 a.m. until my mom came home at 5:30 after she got out of work.
Wow.
And I was like, everybody went and ate on their own. I'm not allowed to leave the room because I'm like, oh, how mad is he gonna get? But I snuck out because my brother and my cousin went outside to play, and I'm like, I gotta prepare for this. So I got 2 styrofoam paper plates, and I stuck them together, and I thought it'll be like an air cushion. And I put sweatpants on, and I tucked them, you know, in there in my underwear, and then I put a baggy shirt on, and I thought that way you can't see that, you know. So he called me in, and he's like, "All right, you know why I'm doing this. I told you don't act like this, and you did it anyways." And he goes, "You understand?" You know, and I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, well then, you know, bend over and I'll give you a spanking." And he put one knee out, and he had you bend over, and then he'd paddle you a couple times, and then he'd be, you know, "Hey, I didn't want to do this, but in life there's consequences." He'd give you this whole spiel, you know, in life, you know, disobedience can make you have bad consequences. You can end up dying. You can go to prison. There's so many things, you know. And so he'd give us this whole thing and tell us, "Yeah, I love you guys," you know. But I was sweating because it's in the summer, and I'm waiting for this paddling that's never coming. He finally calls me in there, and he says, "Okay, you know, bend over." And he got the paddle, and as soon as one paddle that sealed the styrofoam plates together from the heat and the moisture, it exploded like a paper bag. Went,
oh man, hilarious!
And he just paused, and I was like, "Oh, I'm dead." And he just like lifts up my waistband and pulls out these exploded styrofoam plates, and he just goes, "Go to your room." And I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm dead," you know. And he's that mad, he's like, got to get me back to the room. And all of a sudden he hears my mom come on. He goes, Chris, come up here. And she goes up there, and I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be mad too. And I hear, "Wah! Ah!" They're both laughing. I never got spanked for that one.
That's hilarious.
So I was like, yeah, that was my safety.
That's another reason God makes kids cute. Like survival.
So you actually survived to adulthood.
Yeah. Some are cuter than others to survive longer. They need that extra cuteness.
Yeah. It didn't work for you when you start getting in, like you said, puberty age, though, because then all of a sudden, like, I couldn't stop smiling because that was my defense mechanism. And so some kid would run up and punch some other kid in the back of the head and run by, and the kid would turn around and goes, "Who did that?" And right away, I'm smiling, and he's like, "You freaking!" I had to learn to fight because I was the smallest guy, and I was always smiling. So people like, they're like, "I'm gonna knock that that smile off your face." So I was like, "Oh crap," you know. Then I learned like you can't smile all the time. You know?
Learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Social interaction. You learn a lot of things socially in grade school, man. I don't know how grade schools are nowadays, but when I was a kid, man, there's some pretty rough situations you get yourself in as a kid. And thankfully, those kids didn't have adult strength because there's some brutal fights that, you know.
Nobody offered the carrot to train you. They offer you the stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was brutal. Oh, man.
Let's see. I'm switching back and forth to the light table. I think I'm going to stick with the light table because I got this bottom one I want to tackle. There we go. And I keep looking off. I keep forgetting I'm off screen. I got to get back on the screen here. What did Andy say? Andy says,
he said I had all the great school stories. Yeah. I didn't think about how bad I was with my retaliation until, you know, I got older, and then I was like, man, that stuff could nowadays put me in jail.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Nighthawk Warrior. I'll see you. I think it sounds like you're about to leave, so have a great one. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, man. So Jason, you think you're gonna be stopping by, drawing and quarter tonight too?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be there. I'll be in the chat, you know, monitoring. I don't think I'll be drawing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're usually moderating for us.
Yeah, I mean, I usually half the time I'm not here because I have a drawing class on Wednesdays. So, and I won't get back. I won't get home until around 11 my time.
Oh.
So,
okay. So over here it's 8, right?
Yeah. So there's only like an hour left by the time I usually get home. But
yeah, you usually do the straw poll, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. It just depends if I'm there or not. Sometimes I'm here and I'm watching, but I don't want to do the straw poll, so I don't say anything in the chat. I'm just kind of like quiet.
I know. I remember sometimes Mike's like, Jiminy, where are you? Dang it, I gotta do it.
Right here, but I'm not saying anything.
It's like the Homer meme where he fades into the bushes.
Yeah.
Of course, Mike's in the chat right now, like, you know, probably going, wrestle.
Now I know his secrets. He's gonna be still going, I know you're there.
Yeah, right, exactly. Cat out of the bag, so. But you know, I'll probably be there.
Okay.
Andy said what I did to Tim would have landed me in jail these days.
Yeah.
I saw that one too. That was funny, man.
Hey, Tim would have been in a juvenile hall nowadays though if he was doing what he was doing. Like what I did was just I saved his life. I trained him that you don't go around making chains out of things as some kind of weapon and slashing people up with it. I saved his life.
Tim owes me.
Tim owes me a lot. Yeah. No, what's funny is like Mike, some of these kids who would kind of try to mess with us, and Mike would get into some type of altercation with him. We ended up partying ways on good terms with all of them.
Oh yeah, they all like me.
Oh, so you're like Goku. All your enemies become your allies.
That's basically how it was. As a kid, a lot of the people we started end up almost fighting and became our friends. It's funny how that works.
It's because you don't hold grudges when you're a kid. You realize like, hey, some misunderstanding happened and move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like people like you learn who's petty when you're a kid. You like I learned if you got in a fight with somebody and nobody witnessed it, and you beat that guy up that attacked you.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody because that guy will feel like obligated to come at you
Right.
again and again until he beats you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to fight in the first place, but I knew that if anybody knew, like, hey, I heard you beat up so and so, and he'd be like, what? He beat me up, and he's gonna come at me. So I had a football player when I was in high school attack me in the hallway, and because I had teased him, in the computer class, and he got mad. People laughed, and so he attacked me, and nobody luckily was around, and I didn't even do anything. What my mind of what I thought I was going to do and what happened was completely opposite. He went to tackle me at the waist, and I was like, in my mind, I thought I'll palm his head like a bowling ball and sidestep so that like maybe he'll like fly like to the ground past me. Well, he went spinning like a top because I guess he threw his body in the air or something. And he went spinning and slamming in the lockers and was just laying there like, and I was like, what the freak? It didn't even like register to me like, how would that even freaking happen?
You pulled a Hana.
So I just ran out of there, but I didn't tell anybody what happened. Yeah. And when he seen me later the next day, he never said nothing about it, never came over to me. And that was my learning lesson. Don't ever tell people if you have a winning encounter, because otherwise and then on the other side, when I was in elementary school, some kid attacked me that I didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
I actually beat him up.
Yeah.
And I was stupid enough to go, I kicked the crap out of him. And the next day I was fighting him again. I was like, oh, who told him anything? And I was like, and then he messed me up bad. And then, but I was like, I also, the kid was like, this guy's like, later he ran into me in high school and he told this other kid not to mess with me. He goes, why not? He goes, this kid's a pit bull, man. Because he did break my nose twice, but I ended up knocking him out.
Wow.
But he my friends were like, stay down, don't get up. And I was like, I'm a good guy. He attacked me. I have to win. Because I watched too much like Stallone movies as a kid. And I thought, the good guy always wins. So we didn't have that mindset of like, if you're, so I just kept getting up and my shirt was like covered in blood and stuff. And
so you are Goku.
But I remember he must have got tired beating me up because I just go, and my friend Mark was like, stay down. And I'm like, nah, I'm the good guy. I'm gonna knock him out. And he was like, he started going, oh my gosh, like kind of backing away. And
this kid's crazy.
And I was just like, ah! And I went over there and I did a up arc, swinging arc and a down hook right across the temple all the way to the jaw, and he was knocked out. His head bounced on the ground twice.
Wow.
And he wasn't even as messed up compared to me though.
You would be in jail nowadays.
But the thing is I wasn't one of those crazy kids where like they went over and started kicking him and hitting him. I just ran away after that.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was like, he was the one that attacked me first and stuff, and I was like,
I think about this, the teachers back.
The librarian, when 3 guys were waiting to kick my teeth in, she knew it. I told her I was hiding in the library during recess. She kicked me out right at the library door while she's watching these 3 guys waiting to beat me up. And I go, they're gonna kick the crap out of me, and she's like, oh, whatever, it's my lunch break, get out of here, and pushed me out the door, locked the door with and then walked away while I was getting the crap kicked out of me.
Sheesh.
And that was like, I learned not to depend on adults. I was like,
yeah, you learned your lesson on that one.
Yeah.
That's when your hatred of authority figures started.
Also,
librarian.
It was like basically it was like prison rules, because like if a teacher happened to come upon like a skirmish, you would never think, what's going on here? And you'd be like, oh, we're just playing nothing, you would never be like, this guy's trying to start a fight with me. You'd always play off like nothing happened. Otherwise, after the teacher left, the teacher would do nothing about it, and it would end up being worse.
Yeah.
So you just don't say anything, and then usually it would break up, at least for the time being.
Yeah. Andy said if he got in trouble at his school, his teacher would give him a hard time Then his mom would give him a hard time, and then he would get it from his dad. When his dad got out. My dad would actually be like, "Did you win?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay."
Oh man, wow.
I was once getting choked outside, and my dad. Well, what happened is this kid was choking my friend Brian, and I, like I said, I thought I was tougher than I was because I was little, but I said, "Hey, you're doing that to him. Why don't you see if you can do that to me?" And he goes, "Okay." And he threw my friend on the ground. It started. He put me in a full Nelson and started trying to break my neck, and I was like, I couldn't breathe. My face was going purple because he's pushing so hard, and he was like 13, and he's already getting his growth spurt, and I was like 9, and so my feet were off the ground. He was taller than me, and my dad all of a sudden looks out the window, sees that. He doesn't go like run down there. He just opens the window and goes, "Punch him in the nose, Mike." As soon as he said that, the kid like turned his head, but his grip loosened just a little, so I dropped my whole body weight. And he turned around. I just uppercutted him. He went down, and I got on top of him, and I said, "Hey, will you get out of here if I let you up?" And the kid's like, yeah. And I go, "All right." So I let him up, and he got on his bike, drove away. That was it.
Sheesh.
But it was like my dad was the kind of guy where I got in a fight with these guys that were calling my mom names. They're like saying, "Oh, you don't have to listen to your mom. She's stupid, old lady, stupid whore." Yeah. And I was like, I go, "Don't call my mom that." And he's like, "Oh, what you can do?" And I go, "Just don't call my mom that." He goes, "What, whore? Your mom's a whore." And I go, "All right." So I start punching him. And then his brother, I was fighting two brothers on the front lawn, and they're one guy's I'm pulling his hair and kicking the other brother in the head while we're all rolling on the ground. And they're all punching me, but they love it. They're country guys. This is when we lived in Iowa. They're like,
they love it.
Woo, oh yeah, they're having a blast.
Woo! They're punching me, and I'm like going like trying to fight for my life with these two guys. And my dad, my childhood memory, he comes out and he's eating an apple and he just leans on the porch watching me fight these two guys. And then he just,
"Hey, Mike, rip their nuts off."
Yeah, he just walks back in the house like, okay. I think he said, "Dinner is almost ready." Something like that.
Funny.
And I was like, and then you know what? Those guys end up liking us later for a little while. Then it not liking us after they try to sick the dog on us. But
one of the brothers, they had a dog, and he was hunting me down with his dog. I was running through these little wooded area, and he was hunting me, and I finally made it to a
when they turned on us is this is what's funny. They liked that I fought them because they like fighting. But when they turned on us wasn't for that, which nowadays is funny. They turned on us when, for a housewarming gift, he was like, "You know what? You guys are all right." So he gave me a giant Bowie knife where it was like a 12-inch blade. It looked like a sword. And I was like, "You're a 9-year-old kid." You're like, "Sweet, look what I got." And my mom's like, "You can't keep that." And I go, "What? No, it's a gift. He gave it to me. You said it's wrong to turn down gifts." She's like, "Mikey, you ain't keeping that. Go get that back." And I was like, "Oh man." So I went to give it back to him, and he goes, "You freaking wuss. You giving that back?" He goes, "You ain't a man." I'm like, "I'm freaking 9, and you think you're a little man." So I was like, "Well, my mom said, your mom said, you ain't no friend of mine, you freaking loser." And so I was like, but my mom, he's like, "Oh, my mom." And I was like, from that point on, they hated our guts. They were like, "These guys are losers. They listen to their mom."
You threw their gift right back in their face.
Yeah,
it's just like on Star Trek. If you do that to a Klingon,
exactly.
Enemy for life. They were
we broke hillbilly protocol
code.
Exactly.
You broke the hillbilly code.
Jason,
man gives you a Bowie knife, you accept it. Doesn't matter what your mama says.
Mama
doesn't like you. Hide the Bowie knife.
These guys, Jason, this is what these kids did. I remember being in my bedroom. I looked out. I was second floor, right? I look out my window, and I can see their backyard from above. And I look out the window, and for fun, he's got this giant Bowie knife, and he's throwing it up in the air. And when it comes down, he's dodging it and trying to get out of the way, like throwing it. That's what they're doing for fun, these kids.
But wait,
no shirt on.
Tell them how it ended.
Oh, he caught it in the shoulder. It's like, oh my God.
We heard we're eating dinner one night, and we hear, "Wow! Wow!" and my dad's like, what the heck is that? So he goes out the kitchen door, and all of a sudden he comes back and he grabs a dish towel and he says, don't come out here. And he goes out there and he wraps his shoulder because he pulled this giant Bowie knife and put pressure on his shoulder, and they took him to the hospital. And it's like, and my dad's like, you're lucky you didn't go into your lung, you know? So he's like,
yeah.
And then,
Wow.
But my dad used to be an army medic, so he was like, went on and took care of it.
Well, this is all messed up. They would actually drive a motorcycle around their house in circles, and then they crashed into our house with it. Got us stuck in the gutter, like where they had the storm drain, like the windows the basement windows had the preceding drain or ditch by the windows, and it got us stuck in there. I heard the whole house shook, and I remember looking down and seeing them. These two shirtless, barefoot, like guy kids wearing motorcycles, and was trying to pull the bike out.
Man,
oh, man.
Andy said he was given a Rambo knife in trade in school. So I guess that was a common gift in elementary. Yeah. And Geek of the Week said Mikey never met a challenge he wouldn't step up. That's not true. I tried to back down, but people wouldn't let me.
They wouldn't let me.
Well, I try to run, man. I actually developed my first way of fighting was I developed the hit and run. So if I got cornered, I would run away from them, and as soon as I got cornered, I just turn around punching the first guy that was in proximity. So I'd be like a flying punch and then keep running. And but that ended up like wearing me out, and they'd catch me and beat the crap out of me. But yeah. So but yeah, I always try to run away if I could, Yeah. And then I learned how to be sarcastic, and sometimes putting people down was better than actually having to stand up to them, because they would be like, if everybody was laughing at them, they would almost be like, oh, I don't want to mess with this guy because he makes me look stupid. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then you run into people like, you're just going to get worse. Yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah.
I got to teach you old way.
Yeah.
No, childhood, man. Good memories. Good times.
You haven't been in a fight since I was
probably, that's the thing.
Well, how old were you?
I haven't gotten in a fight since I was 9, 10.
I was gonna say maybe. Last year. You're like,
no.
like a year.
I mean, I'm not inclling my wife. I mean, I'm talking about other people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good. 9, man.
It's
just a peacemaker, right?
I just like my teeth where they are. I don't. The prospect of getting my face beat in never excited me, so I would avoid fights whenever possible.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, definitely. So
no, I tried.
So far, so good. Huh?
See, I tried to, but my mom because it seemed like it wouldn't avoid me. My mom even goes, I don't know what it is about you, Mikey, but you're like a magnet for trouble. Because I would literally, there'd be a room full of kids, and if there was a kid that like somebody wanted to mess with, they'd all of a sudden walk up to me. But they didn't realize like my dad had this, because we were raised in a Christian home. My dad would tell us, according to the Bible, it says your body is a temple, and and so nobody has the right to destroy the temple. And I go, okay. So my dad told us like that means, you shouldn't be going around starting fights, but if somebody's attacking you, you have to defend yourself. You can't just like take it and curl up because he was seeing these other kids curl up and just take it, and he was like, don't do that. And I go, all right. So that was our mindset, is we're like, well, hey, this guy's trying to destroy the temple. Who are you? Who gives you the
this
right?
Guy's a heathen.
Yeah. So yeah. So we had a really like, our mindset was like, hey, we can't like back down on this. This guy is attacking us. So even we would try to run away if we could, but if we couldn't, we're like, okay, we got to deal with it. And you know what? My dad also gave a good advice, and I think any kid should hear this. Is like he said, if you run away, you're going to get beat up all the time. He said, wouldn't you rather get maybe possibly one good fight where you're done, where the person's like, hey, that's not worth it, move on to the next person? And I said, yeah, that's true. And he goes, but every time you just kind of like run away and take it, they just keep coming back because they didn't learn a lesson from it. And I found that was true though. It's like unfortunately, it was like once you start like kind of like confronting it, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, somebody's easier. Go to that person. But it's like,
yeah, that's what I think is like my dad said that he's like, you can deal with it once or deal with it the rest of the school year. I'm like,
yeah,
I deal with it once if I have to deal with it at all.
because
So
it's horrible, man.
I would confront. See, this thing is, Mike would get into these fights, but when
Yeah.
people would try to mess with me, I would confront it right away, and they would usually back down. So thankfully, my people that tried to mess with me would back down, but
They didn't
Mike
back
was
down
like,
with me, man.
well, because Mike looked so cute. He looked like the the kid from the cereal commercial. He's like, hey, I'm not scared of this kid. And Mike had to get
Hey,
a little.
Mikey, he
rough.
likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it didn't help that my mom cut my hair at the time, so I had a bowl haircut. Yeah,
Oh,
I was like,
man.
that was brutal.
So blame your
It
mom.
was, yeah, it was like begging for it.
Like this kid's
Like,
getting it right.
if I go back in time, I kick my own butt. You know? So yeah, it's bad.
Poor Mikey. So when's the last time you got in a fight, Mike?
29. That was it.
1929?
No, when I was 29. Yeah.
How old are you now?
I don't want to tell because Matt told me
30.
not to tell my.
29 and a half?
It's been a few.
But
years.
you were an adult. You were an adult when it happened.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't good. But you know what? It was quick, and you know it wasn't anything. It wasn't really a story to it, except for, you know, it was actually, you know what? I think I was 30 because my mom had just died, and so I was like in that kind of zone where I didn't really care about anything at the time, and
right.
like, so I was just like, whatever. And somebody was just wanted to go at me, and I was like, I don't care, man, you know, and
let's go.
So I was, I just like, they were kind of surprised, you know, and then they didn't mess with me anymore. They were like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, remember the Wayne brothers? I can't remember the oldest brother, but he said that.
Keenan Ivory.
Yeah. He was like, he had a talk show I saw where he was interviewed. They were interviewing him, and he said he remembers that some guy rear-ended him on a bridge, and he jumped out of the car and was like, "Man, what's your problem, man?" And he said he got towards the guy's face, and he said it was some Arabic guy, and the guy was small, you know, but the guy's like, "I am ready to die," and he was just like, Whoa, take it easy there. he's like, this guy, he could just grab me and like jump off a bridge. The bridge.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa. He's like, I was just trying to intimidate this guy, and he's like, he's ready to die. I'm like, oh, wait a second, that's a different level there.
Yeah. That kind of happened too around the same time in Vegas when we were living. Yeah, it was in Vegas, Andy. When we lived in Vegas, I had two. One that I purposely went out of my way to avoid because I already did something stupid after my mom died, and then I was trying to still deal with that. And this guys, it was like they're just used, like all the evil in the world was like, hey, let's go park in front of your apartment. So there's a gated apartment, and I'm waiting to pull in, and this truck cuts me off on the turn to go to the gate, and he pulls, instead of pulling up to the code to open the gate, he pulls sideways, and it's two Mexican day laborers, and they're just staring at me, and they're just blocking the gate sideways, blocking the whole thing, and they're smiling the whole time. Like they want an altercation with somebody or something. And I'm just like, I backed up my car, parked it, like put it in park, but had it running because I'm like, I don't know, what do they want to like come and shoot at me, or what is, they're crazy, right? Why are they trying to instigate something? So I sat there and I just tried not to focus on them, and they're just smiling at me the whole time, and literally 15 minutes they sat there just idling their truck looking at me. And then one guy finally gets out, and he goes up to the box to type in the code, and the other guy driving by slowly, just looking down, smirking at me the whole time, and he drives by, and I just like, whatever. I let the gate open all the way, and the guy's walking in with his toolbox, you know, and so I was like, I'm gonna let him get way past the gate, so I don't
Mhm.
have to even be near him. Like I
Right.
don't know what his deal is. And he's got like that tool belt with all the giant wrenches and all that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so he's going all the way in, and the gate's about to close. So I just slowly pull up so the gate stops when it senses my car, and I start going over the speed bump. And
Mhm.
he jumps because when I go to the speed bump, the car goes like that. I didn't rev the engine, but because he
Right.
jumped and he felt like a wimp, he
Yeah.
pulls out the wrench, and he starts running, and he tries to hit the side of my side window. And
Sheesh.
so I swerve, and he just clips the back end of the car and doesn't hit the window. And he starts, and I'm like, what the freak is with this guy? You know, he's crazy.
Psycho.
So he starts running after me, and I'm like, first of all, I live in this apartment complex. I don't want him knowing where I
Right.
live, and so I'm speeding over the speed bumps, and he's trying to run after me around the corner and I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, if this guy follows me all the way there, one or two
Right.
things: he's gonna vandalize my car, or he's gonna assault me when I get out. And I got so enraged because I was like, really? And so I just put the car in the park right in front of the mailbox area that I was going by, and I got out. And he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, you mother paper!" And he's like screaming at me, and he's got this big wrench out, and he's like,
So he shot
starts
him?
running at. Well, I was at the time. I go, "Hey, my mom just died. I don't give a crap anymore. I'm ready to kill you. Come on!" You know, like that. And he went, took off running, and I was like, because I was like, he looked at me and he's like, "This guy just told me it's the end game for him. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go to the death? Okay, I'm not
He was
scared of you."
he was saying the line from Avengers, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
whatever it takes.
and in the mail, I turned around. Because I was standing there going, "What? You ran away from me? You're bigger than me. You got a weapon?" And I'm like, and I was like mad, and I was like, "Freaking kidding me!" And he's like, he ran away down the other side of the apartment complex. and then I turn around, and the mail guy is there, like by his truck, and he goes, "Whoa!" And I go, "Yeah. What do you expect?" You know. And I just got in my car and drove by, and but I was just like, well, thank you God for this guy not continuing to come at me.
Yeah, seriously.
This could have been ugly, you know.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, you know. And then I felt like the worst.
Caught you in that Wayne Brothers moment with that guy. Like, I'm ready to die.
Oh, it's horrible too when you got that adrenaline going now, but you can't get rid of it. So I was just like, oh man, I actually went in, changed, and went walking because I was like, I got to get this energy out. I didn't walk around apartments though, because I didn't want to meet the guy and get into a fight. I just drove somewhere and went walking.
And it's funny. Then later on, you run into guys at church.
Yeah,
he's one of the actors. Yeah.
It's like an episode of Mr. Bean. We're both singing Hallelujah.
Mr. Bean.
I love that.
You ever watch that Jason Mr. Bean show?
I watched like probably 2 episodes and I got sick of it. I love Rowan Atkinson, but I hate his character, Mr. Bean. I can't stand him. I love Blackadder though.
He does. He is like an a-hole in some of the episodes where he's like.
But that's why it's funny.
Yeah, I started cracking up. I can't help it. Some of the things he does, so like, oh my gosh! And like the best one. Do you see the one where he was in the laundromat?
No.
That was the best one where he's like, he's the laundromat and he's got to wash his pants that he's wearing, and nobody's there, so he starts changing out of it. But then all of a sudden, a guy walks in, and he's sitting down. And the guy's wearing sunglasses. Or no, this is different. That's the beach one. I think it's a woman, right? And no, this is at the beach. It's all at the beach. He's changing from he's putting the swim trunks on. Somehow he's doing it with over his pants, and then taking the pants off when swim trunks are over it.
It's stretching like a the banana
crazy
type of pants, so that he could get his legging out of there.
It's insane how he did it, but I don't know how he did it, but he actually did it. But it's funny, he's doing all this work. There's a guy standing there not too far from him, and every time the guy turns around, he keeps trying to look casual. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the whole skit, you find out the guy's blind. The guy's a cane, and he walks over with a cane. It's like, you went through all that work, the guy's blind.
Yeah, I think what I don't like about Mr. Bean is he's basically a mime.
Yeah. Basically.
So, and I'm not crazy about mimes. So,
It's funny. He does this weird voice though. Do you hear the voice?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
I love that.
love that.
Yeah,
Stop.
it always cracks me up. And he's got the little teddy bear. He's like, yeah, mama. Oh man, and he's like, he's making himself laugh with this bear. I love that weirdness. I'm like, oh, yeah.
You guys ever see Blackadder?
Nuh-uh.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
Oh man, I think that's his probably his best comedy character. He plays successive generations of this family named Blackadder, and in each generation, he plays a different, like a descendant of the previous character. But they're all like sort of scumbags and weasels, you know. and it goes all the way from, I think, like the early, from the Dark Ages all the way up to World War One. This whole sort of family tree of Blackadders, you know.
Whoa.
And it lasted, I think, probably about 5 seasons. It was very funny. And what I liked about it was that, unlike Mr. Bean, he was extremely talkative. He had a very charismatic, very devious character, and just completely different character from Mr. Bean. And I thought that was very good. And then
Where can you find that? Like, is it on streaming somewhere?
I mean, I used to watch it on PBS. So
Okay, maybe
I mean,
YouTube has it. Sometimes
or if
people
you, yeah,
upload it.
I'm sure you can find clips on YouTube. Actually, I'm going to look right now. But if you have Amazon Prime,
Oh
or,
yeah.
or if you have like BritBox, which is another sort of pay service, streaming service, I'm sure it's on there.
Oops, sorry about that.
But yeah, it's very good, very very good. And then I also liked him in what was it, Maigret. He plays a detective, a French detective, Maigret.
Oh, I heard that one. Vaguely.
It's very good. It was actually a remake of a previous series back in the 90s from the BBC. But he did about 4 or 5 movies as Maigret about 3 years ago. So it was very cool.
I'll check it out. Maybe.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. He's got good comedic timing, though. You know.
Yeah. There's no comedy in Maigret. It's just strictly murder.
I'd like to see him, do some drama too. It's funny, comedians like a lot of times can do good drama because it seems like a lot of comedians' background has like they have a lot of drama in their actual life, like background.
Yeah, I think most comedians, probably the vast majority of them, are very miserable people. So
but they had some type of like kind of traumatic background, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's why they're able to look into the humor of things, like even if it's kind of dark.
Yeah. I think that's why they get into comedy. I think it's probably the only time they're able to like laugh at what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, was it Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey, I guess his dad suffered with depression and and stuff, and he would try to make his dad laugh. He said all the time, do funny faces or whatever, and try to get his dad to smile and laugh. That was his goal.
Yeah.
And
Robin Williams. You know, I mean, when I think about like really good comedians, they almost always, whenever they go into drama, they're always excellent. Whether it's Robin Williams, I wish Jim Carrey would do more drama because I know he'd be fantastic in it. Hugh Laurie, House, the guy who plays House.
Yeah.
Very famous comedian from Britain, but then he just decided to go into drama, and it's just brilliant stuff. What's his name? Stephen Fry, another guy, great comedian, very good in drama. Yeah,
it's true. They just have the chops for that, and they know the human experience, right? They go through that ups and downs of life, and it's funny. I didn't really know too much about. Speaking of comedy, I was listening to was it a clip they had of Rodney Dangerfield?
Oh yeah,
and he was like, it was a movie where he goes to college.
Oh yeah, was it Back to School?
Yeah, and the professor was talking about business, right? He's saying, he's okay, we have to develop our business, and first we're going to build a factory. And he's like, why are you going to do that? Why don't you just lease it, you know? You save, and you save money and all this stuff, and then he's like, no, we're going to build it for this, you know? And he's like, all right. And then, because he got the business background in the movie, right?
Right.
And then he's like, and he goes, okay, we're going to build it. And he goes, well, we just have to figure out the cost, the materials, and the company we're going to hire. And then he's like, the contractor, and he's like, wait, you left some things out. He's like, what? He's like, how much money you're going to have to use to grease the politicians, He goes, because those building permits are going to be slow, he said, and you want to get the thing going. He goes, and those cement, you can use cement, you got to talk to the people in the unions, he said, and he goes, oh yeah, and he goes, and the guys take care of disposal. He goes, let me tell you, those guys aren't Boy Scouts, the guys who run that aren't Boy Scouts. Disposal, and I'm like, yeah, you're dealing with the mob and all that, right? But it's funny because he's like telling the real world way of how you deal with crap, and it cracked me up because it's like he sounds all crass and everything, like, whoa, it's lowbrow, but I'm like, dude, that's the reality of the stuff you're dealing with. And you hear stuff, but it's like, but I'm wondering, I don't know his background, his Rodney Dangerfield. I'm kind of curious his background.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he always talks about how, they always elaborate about how their wife, no respect. You kind of wonder how much is true, or if it's none of it true. You know what I mean? Does he really get no respect?
He gets no respect.
Oh man, yeah, Rodney Dangerfield is funny because I didn't know Eddie Murphy said that he was a big fan of him, and I guess Rodney Dangerfield gave him some advice, But he told Eddie Murphy, because Eddie Murphy was cursing in his act, and he was like, he's like, hey, he's like, you got to tone it down, man. It's like cursing's not gonna get you very far, man. You start doing that. And then he said he later on saw him after he did, like, I don't know if he did Raw or something like that, and he was like, who knew? And he's like, his whole act was not curse.
Wow.
He's like, who knew? He said, but yeah, he said it's like he still liked Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy liked Rodney Dangerfield, I guess, a lot. He was just like, it's funny. You wouldn't think that though, but I guess all the great comics and comedian people, like they appreciate different, people that they're kind of like an artist, like, right? There's people who call artists, right? Or maybe the common person might not even know about them, but the other artists like, oh, this guy's great, And it's like, it's kind of like that. You wouldn't think that this artist would be into this style of art, but they appreciate it. They're like, no, this guy's great, man. And you're like, wow, you know that guy too? Like, yeah. You're like, wow. So it's kind of like with comedy. I think these comedians you wouldn't think would like some old school comedians. They just love these guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry that you asked me about Rodney Dangerfield's background. I looked it up. It's not good.
Oh, really? I figured.
It says, Dangerfield's mother was cruel and cold to him his entire life. Throughout his childhood, she never kissed, hugged, or showed him any sign of affection.
Wow, that's pretty much what I thought.
And then it says that he was molested by a man in his neighborhood. He would pay him a nickel and kiss him for 5 minutes.
Oh my god!
No respect, thanks, Matt. Thanks,
man. I told you, he never looked at the comedian's background.
I almost, you know what? That could be like some comedian just giving him no respect after he died. That's so messed up. Some guy's like, I'm gonna write a fake obituary so people know how messed up his life was.
It's like, what was it?
That's one of those things that you don't want somebody writing that about you. That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty harsh background. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these comedians, most of them had like really rough backgrounds, And they had to
nothing worse than that.
They had to look at the bright side of life, They had to think about it. How would you be able to, a lot of people, they have that, and what happens? They says that ruined my life. I was traumatized. He became like a world-renowned comedian, became successful. It's like, it depends on that, like I said, like how you deal with the situations. I mean, trauma is trauma, right?
Right.
But he was able to overcome that. That's pretty impressive still. I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, I think most successful people, it's like they're driven to succeed based on what's happened. I mean, whether they were dirt poor and they didn't want to spend the rest of their life poor. They wanted that drove them, or horrible childhood drove them to get out of that situation.
Yeah, man. But yeah,
I had a good childhood. That's why I've grown to be nothing. I've had it too easy in life.
I don't know, you're pretty funny too.
My parents loved me, and they gave me a good childhood, and
you got respect.
I'm blessed, so I just grew up to be a layabout watching cartoons all day.
Yeah, man.
It's funny though. I think there's some like truth to like having some. You have to have hardships in some areas to like really kind of make you buckle down. Like I know, like I mean, going through some things, you're like, man, I am definitely buckling down on some things. I mean, and yeah, as an artist, man, like you go through financial stuff, you're like, it kind of lights a fire under you. So instead of being like negative about it, you're kind of like you got to say, okay, what am I gonna do here? What I gotta, and plus, like you said, as being a Christian, I always confer with God. What do I need? What am I gonna do? I need some help here. I have no clue, and yeah, but it's like we're able to like. It's funny. It's like I have like a little bit of a dark sense of humor because I kind of not because I like dark things because when dark things happen, I kind of laugh and look at the funny part of like the irony or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you got to be able to do that through some hard times.
Yeah.
Instead of taking everything way too serious, like
you
it's
can't
serious
be miserable your whole life.
Yeah, you got to. It's a choice. You got to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
But thankfully, like I said, we've been through some things where I can look back at some of those, and we were cracking up on some of the moments, even though they were dark moments. Just like funny things. Like before, I want to end the stream soon, right here now. But just to end it on a funny note. Geek of the Week says Raw was Eddie Murphy's best special. And Andy Hayes says, "What's for dinner tonight?" Oh man, that's a good question. Now I'm hungry. I actually am hungry. I think I don't know what Mike's getting. What are you gonna get, Mike?
Probably El Pollo.
El Pollo Loco chicken. What are you eating, Jason?
Not sure. I think my wife took something. She's still at work. So I think she puts it on the refrigerator. I'll probably scrounge that, whatever it is.
Oh, nice! You got refrigerator leftovers, man. That's the way to live. I gotta find something.
You have a refrigerator?
I got a fridge that's pretty. I got water in there.
Oh no!
I got like I don't even have condiments to use. No ketchup or nothing. I could pour myself a cup of ketchup. No, I have like a shelf cabinet full of like things I shouldn't be eating, like crackers and stuff like that. Cookies, carbs. I'm trying to save with carbs, and all I have is carbs.
Yum yum.
Yeah, tuna fish. Maybe I can put it on crackers. But no, I was gonna say. I'm trying to think. What was I gonna say about the Good Note comedy? Oh, we had a cat. We were living in an apartment. And this was like Mike and I were like it was roughing it big time, right? And the apartment managers were coming over for some reason to do an impromptu inspection, but we had a cat that we didn't report because we didn't have enough money for the cat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had to hide the cat, and we like had a giant cardboard box we put outside, and Mike grabbed the cat and our cat Sergio and threw him in the cardboard box, and then like put like pillows and stuff on top of it. But he's like the cat, when you're scared, he has this incredible strength where he was like busting out the top of the box. And Mike is in the back outside on the patio, like sitting on the box, and the cat's head's poking out like, and Mike's like trying to muscle it down, and the manager's talking to me, and right behind him in the window is Mike trying to push the cat's head down in his box, and I'm just like trying to keep the manager. It's like a sitcom looking at me and not looking out the window, and he's like punching the box.
Oh my god!
Well, what happened? What happened was he got out of the box, and I caught him by his shoulders, and he dug all of his toenails into my chest and was like pushing, just scratching the crap out of me, like he's an alien. I'm holding on to an alien, and so I shoved the box, and I'm trying to put his head in there, and he keeps like biting my fingers, and I'm like, no, and I'm hitting the top of the box to try to scare him away from my hand, so it looks brutal. It looks like I'm beating the cat, but I'm not even touching him.
It's like from my vantage
point, just looks out, sees me hitting this box. Like, not hitting him.
It's a Seinfeld episode where you hear those sounds, and you see this action in the background where he's pummeling a box, and I know the cat's there, and I'm like, what the? And I'm like,
well, my hands, one finger is still in the box because he won't let go. He's like freaking little pit bull. And I'm like,
looking back, dying laughing.
In my fingernail, you know. I was like, man, yeah,
It was-
we
it
were
was so
laughing
funny.
though because we're like, this cat, man.
He
I go,
just,
you
like-
know, we're trying to save your freaking from being evicted here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, we ended up having to leave that apartment anyway, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and then we went through the same similar fiasco. We had to put him into a hotel, sneak him into a hotel and through a suitcase, and he was losing his mind inside of a suitcase.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, the cat went through so much, but he was a tough little guy, man.
Yeah.
He was a tough kid, man. That cat traveled cross country with us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was a good cat, man. He was like a little tough guy.
And we named him. My mom named him after Sergio Garnes. Yeah. Aragones. Yeah.
The comic artist. Remember
From Gru the
Yeah.
Wanderer.
Yeah.
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 named him
So
after
his little Sergio.
Sergio Gomez.
Yeah.
Good
Cool.
cat. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna end the stream because I'm thinking Mike's probably gonna go eat something too soon, aren't you?
Okay, I'll let you go.
And but yeah, it was good, man. Good talking with you guys. Good talking with you, Jason. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And,
Nice meeting you,
Mike-
Mikey.
And
Nice
oh, by the
meeting
way,
you.
Mike's birthday today, so happy
Oh,
birthday,
happy
again,
birthday.
Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna celebrate tomorrow and Thursday. So Mike's got it's the birth week, like my Becky says. So it's called the birth week.
He wrote
Well, it wasn't
hashtag
born
cat
this
puncher.
Cat puncher. Oh my god.
It looked so bad. I was laughing when Matt's telling me what it looked like. I was like,
Oh man.
'Cause
it
I'm
was so
like-
funny.
you know, how the flappy lid. I'm trying to make him like get away from it because he doesn't like noise of the scuttle of a lid. So I'm hitting the lid with one hand, trying to make him let go, and he won't let go. And I'm like,
he wasn't
"Ah."
punching the cat because, oh man, it is so funny looking.
But
Just
I'm
that
also
camera
in
on top
pain,
of the
so I'm
cardboard
swinging
box.
my hand at this lid, and he's like pulling my finger in there. Yeah,
Oh man, yeah, it was great. Good time.
I miss him though. He was a sweet cat though. He just had a moment.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for stopping in. Geek of the Week, and Andrew Hayes, and Jeff Potts, and everybody else. Mike, Blacklist Universe, and Gary Shipman for stopping in for a little bit. You guys are awesome. And tonight is Drawn and Quartered, so you'll probably see Mike and Gary, and maybe hear from Jason. Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But he'll be there cheering us on. I have no doubt. And
I'll be looking in the background.
yeah, he'll be leftovers looking in the background. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you again for maybe another live random stream. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on Jason's channel. You guys take it easy. Jason's links in the description, so check that out. Just subscribe to Jason's channel as well. Mike, I'm going to put him in there too. So, but thanks again. I'll talk to you guys later. You have a great week. See you at Drawn and Quartered. Bye-bye.
Hey, you guys take care.
Bye.
Night.
All right, night.